to the National Football League welcome you to Acrisure Stadium here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tonight on Sunday Night Primetime, it's the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Primetime. Mike Tirico next to the great tight end, Greg Olson. Glad you are joining us for this one. Off we go on Sunday Night Football. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 24. Play action now with Rodgers. A hit as he throws there. It's going to wind up incomplete. The pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up 2nd down.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. On the ground, it's Jaylen Warren. Past the 45. Jaylen Warren. And he is gone. 75 yards. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Well, fireworks right out of the gate here, Greg. It only takes 2 plays to put 6 on the board, and they do it with a big touchdown. And look at this. The extra point is blocked. Boswell now, following the touchdown, back out to kick this one off. He'll start at the 4. And he'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. Now the first carry of the game for Josh Jacobs. And this play going nowhere. He is taken down behind the line of scrimmage on their first play of the game.
So everything this defense talks about, Mike, is creating negative plays. It's one of the best run defenses in football. Everything is about suffocating you at the line of scrimmage, make you work for everything you get.
Last play went the wrong way. It sets up 2nd and long. It's 2nd down and 12. That's caught at Savion Williams. And that's a good gain there. It's going to wind up just a couple of yards shy of that 1st down. Now a 3rd and 2. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. He'll throw complete to Blake Corum. And it looks like he's going to have the 1st down. The defense was right there, but a gain of 2. Good enough for the 1st down. They'll run it straight ahead with Jacobs. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
What makes great linebackers stand out from the pack is their instincts and their vision. In this case, the linebacker has his keys, brings him right where the ball is going, and he's able to make a play at the point of attack and keep this to a no gain.
They'll run it, first carry of the game for Blake Corum. And he gets this up close to the 40. Chuck Clark there to make the play.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment, and keeps this to a modest gain at best.
Here comes 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Love. Throwing left side, and it's taken in by Williams.
These third down conversions are just so important, Mike. Everybody stresses we want to possess the ball, give our offense as much opportunity to end as many drives as we can, scoring points. So if you want to stay on the field, you better be good on third down.
So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Throwing is Love. He's going to go deep, looking for Reed.
And that's exactly what every defense is trying to do in the passing game. They want to muddy up these windows, Mike, make every throw as contested as possible. No separation, contact right at the catch point, and does a great job forcing the incomplete pass.
Running forward is Corum. And this will be a short pickup down to the 45. That's Alex Highsmith in for the tackle. Converted twice on 3rd down already on this drive. Now can they do it for a 3rd time? He'll get that into the hands of Williams. And he's going to be taken down short of the marker, and that is going to set up an interesting 4th down decision.
I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the 1st down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks, and now they got a 4th down decision to make.
On 4th down, the Packers turn it over to Daniel Whelan to punt, as they'll say no to the long field goal and hope to pin them deep. That one hit inside the 10, but it bounces forward into the end zone, and they'll bring it back out to the 20-yard line. On the ground, it's Warren to start the drive. That's a nice job keeping his balance in these conditions. A gain of about 5. So, from the 25, it's 2nd and 5. They'll stay on the ground with Warren. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one.
You could just see the frustration on the running back's face as he's getting helped up off the ground, Mike. There was just nowhere to go from the moment he was handed the ball. Give credit to the defense. Great job.
It's 3rd and 4. From the gun, Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Jalen Warren was the man he was trying to connect with. And now it's 4th down.
Remember what they told us, Mike, leading up to this game. They said it is so critical for us to find success, especially on 3rd down. We want to maintain possession, extend these drives. Well, the first crack comes up and they fail through the air, and they're going to have to regroup and be able to have better success throughout the remainder of this game.
On 1st and 10, here's Love. That is incomplete.
They tried to go with the quick game here in hopes they could do something with it after the catch, but I don't think everyone was necessarily on the same page, and this ends up being a wasted down.
On second down, Love. He's got the rookie out of Texas, Matthew Golden. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. It's going to be third. They need one. They'll try to run it here with Corum. Give them 14 on that one. First down, Packers.
And that's a heck of a run there on 3rd and 1. So often these backs, they're just thinking, all right, just get 1 yard, pick up the first down. But not this guy. He's thinking, I know where the marker is, but I'm going to pick up as many yards after that as I can. That's exactly what he does. Fresh set of downs.
And he's going to be brought down just outside the 10-yard line. What a pickup, a gain of 18. And it sets up 1st and goal.
Really nice job there, Mike. I mean, he sees the blitz coming and just gets the ball out of his hands. Understand where your outlets are. It results in an easy pitch and catch and move the chains.
They'll have to go the full 10 yards, but it's 1st and goal. To throw is Love. Quickly, they get it into the hands of Williams. And this is not going to work out as planned. Tough spot to try to run a play like that. It is blown up behind the line.
Man, what a big-time play here by the corner. It feels like he knew that play was coming before the ball was even snapped. You could see he sticks his foot in the ground and bursts. He ends that play before it even has a chance to get started.
That'll be intercepted. Picked off by Juan Thornhill. And the Steelers are going to get the football at their own 23. They'll start this on the ground with Warren. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at best. Might have even lost a yard there.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on first down, but that's exactly the case here.
They'll run the draw with Warren. Whoa! And a much more positive run here. That one good for 10, but it's still going to leave him with a 3rd down coming up.
So you find yourself in 2nd and long. What you're thinking here as the play caller is just get this into a manageable 3rd down situation. But after that rush attempt and that big gain, they now find themselves in 3rd and short, which makes it nice. They can run or pass.
And he's going to pick up the first down. He knew where that marker was and made sure he got beyond it.
Well, nothing real fancy here, Mike. Not a huge pickup, but anytime on 3rd down, you got to know where the sticks are, who's your most reliable player, and I think everybody in this booth knows exactly what position that is.
Off the play fake, Rodgers. And that ball led him too far, maybe too wide. Out of bounds, incomplete. DK Metcalf was the intended target. And it'll bring up 2nd down.
Just a little bit too much juice on that one, and you just can't throw the ball out of bounds. Give your receiver a chance to go up and compete for the ball, but when you miss that far wide, he's got no shot.
Here's a screen set up for Warren, and they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up 3rd down.
Just a little slow developing on that screenplay there. It was pretty obvious to the entire defense exactly what was going on. Nobody was thinking pass. Nobody was getting back into their drops, and just nowhere for that back to go.
Here's 3rd and 7. To the air once more, it's Rodgers. Down the field, but it falls incomplete.
Little miscommunication there now brings up third down. It just doesn't appear that the quarterback and the wide receiver were on the same page on that last pass.
And he'll be brought down, short return, and they'll take over there. From the 39, here's a 1st and 10. They'll start this on the ground with Corum. And they bring him down, but not until he crosses midfield. That one good for a dozen and a very quick 1st down.
Really nice explosive play there on the ground. And I'll tell you what, for these fans sitting in the stadium, they're not used to seeing their home team pushed around. So continue to be physical at the line of scrimmage, mix in the runs with the pass. And if they can continue to generate these big explosive runs, I don't think they need to go away from it. For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball. I mean, he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push the ball downfield, hasn't really translated on the scoreboard just yet.
They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. Back to the air, it's Love. That one just too far out in front, and it's incomplete. Jaden Reed was the intended target, and it'll be 3rd down.
I think the biggest issue and why they find themselves trailing in this game, Mike, has really just been the ups and downs of this passing game. At sometimes, he's highly accurate and efficient, but at others, he just misses too many easy throws. Question is, are they going to be able to overcome this quarterback inconsistency and pull this game out?
That one too far out in front. It is incomplete. He was trying to connect with Matthew Golden that time. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Look it up through the raindrops. No issue there, though. Fair catch, called for, and taken successfully. Here's a handoff to Warren. He finds some room across the 25, and he'll be taken down just shy of the 30. So we are through one here on Sunday Night Primetime. It's the Steelers with the early lead, and we're back to the Steel City after this. A handoff, running left. This is Warren. This time the sledding becomes a little more difficult. They're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
We've seen this back have his way with this defense all game long, Mike. He's up over 100 yards for the game, but this time the defense said, we've had enough. They sold out to stop him. They hold him to no gain.
2nd down, Rodgers. That one incomplete.
It's certainly not for the lack of trying, but these guys are having a really hard time getting on the same page right now. I mean, he's still looking for his first catch, despite getting a handful of targets going his way.
It is 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. Forced to his right. The pressure gets there, and down he goes back inside the 20-yard line. Rashawn Gary. He's in there to drop him, and it leads to 4th down. And he'll get forward a few yards on the return, and that's where the offense. Will take over. They'll go play action with Love. He finds Jaden Reed for the grab. And he's in! Jaden Reed. Touchdown, Green Bay. His 6th touchdown now for the season. What a job to finish the play with a touchdown, the catch, and trouble on this extra point. It is blocked. All square now at 6 aside as the ball's back in the air again. It's a return. Here comes Calvin Austin. Here comes a reverse. He'll get across the 20, mark him down at the 23-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Warren. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. Love to start any drive like that. 18 on the first play. And a 1st down.
Well, really nice start here to the drive. Early down success. Every offensive coordinator is trying to find ways. How do we pick up 1st downs without having to get to 3rd down? We see it here. Big explosive run. Now the rest of the drive unfolds.
Once again, it's Warren. And he'll fight forward for a couple of yards, but a flag is down, and the linemen are already walking back. From the shotgun, it's A-Rod. And that one is incomplete. Penalty flag down, back in the backfield, in the area of holding. Rodgers to throw. This one is complete to DK Metcalf. And he's going to be dragged down, but not until he's inside the 25. That is a big-time play for the Steelers. A gain of 48.
How about that for your first catch of the game? I mean, to be able to attack the defense with your very first grab really sets things up nicely for the rest of the game. So defensively, they need to tighten up a little bit on the back end, because I promise you that's not going to be the last time they call his number.
And he'll get forward for a couple. It's 2nd down. Now a give to Warren, running right. And he's into the end zone. What a response! Jaylen Warren, touchdown Pittsburgh. His second TD of the game, and this one gives his team the lead. That touchdown puts him in double digits. Now 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. Boswell now, following the touchdown, back out to kick this one off. Bo Melton on the return. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Love to throw it on first down. That one pinballs around, but it is incomplete. Trying to get it to Savion Williams there. And it'll lead to a second down.
You know, there's a fine line between trusting your arm and having a little bit too much faith in your arm, right? I think this was one of those situations here, Mike, where there was nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to fit that one in there anyway, and he's lucky that it just falls incomplete.
And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, this play, Mike, was clearly about the job of this defensive line. Great job holding their ground, forcing these blockers to be stood up. Nowhere to go for this running back, and they hold him to no gain.
Here's a 3rd and 10. Love to throw. Catch is made. That is Williams. And he looks to be a bit short of the line. And that is going to bring up 4th down. Here's Daniel Whelan now, as he is on to punt for Green Bay. And he's going to be brought down after a short return, and that's where his team will get possession of the football. They'll run straight ahead with Warren. And he will slosh his way forward on the wet surface for a gain of a yard. From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down. On the handoff, this is Warren. Room to run at the 35. And he will score again. Jaylen Warren, touchdown Steelers. That is 3 touchdowns in this one, and he's up to 11 on the season. Boswell now for the extra point. He's got it. And the Steelers add on one more as they extend their 2nd quarter lead. Boswell now, following the touchdown, back out to kick this one off. Melton now to return. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. Love to throw on 1st and 10. Throwing left side there, but it is incomplete.
Seems like there was some miscommunication that time. They clearly weren't on the same page. That's something that they've got to get on the sideline and get corrected as soon as possible, because I think they just missed out on what could have been a big play.
2nd and 10. It's the tight end Kraft in motion. Throwing on 2nd down, Love. He'll get this over the middle to Golden. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot, but they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Love. He gets that complete as he hits Reed. He had their lone touchdown of the game earlier, and he comes through with the catch and a 1st down in this spot. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. He'll work his way forward for about 3 yards, with Deshaun Elliott on the tackle.
So this team finds themselves now in a little bit of a tricky situation here, Mike. If they don't find a way to start sustaining some of these drives and come away with points, all of a sudden you're trailing by double digits in the second half. You become very one-dimensional. You become very pass-heavy, and that's certainly not how any team in the NFL wants to play.
Third and inches. On 3rd down, they go with Corum. And he will have a Packers 1st down. He has it by plenty as they keep the drive alive here on 3rd and inches.
I know it's early in this game, but in my mind, that's 4-down territory. And certainly now the coach doesn't have to make that decision. He keeps it on the ground on 3rd and short, gets a fresh set of downs, and now they got to see if they can come away with some points.
He's going to force his way for a yard or 2, but looks like this one's going to be coming back. They'll stay on the ground with Corum. And a nice run. Get him about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down. Two minutes remain here in this first half. We'll come back to the Steel City after this. Off the play fake. Here's Love. That's left side, caught by Musgrave. And he's going to be out of bounds, but they are in the red zone, inside the 20. First time he's caught a ball here tonight, and it is good for a 1st down. They'll run straight ahead with Corum. And a nice run. Get him about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down.
The best offensive play callers in the NFL, Mike, do a great job tying in their under-center run game, like we just saw here, with their under-center play action game. And the ability to make those two things look alike, man, it puts a lot of stress on the defense.
Once again, it's Corum. He slams it in there, and he is in. Blake Corum. Touchdown, Packers. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. Patterson now to add the extra point. The kick is good, and the Packers will cut the deficit to 7. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Austin now to return this. He'll come across the 20 and taken down at the 21-yard line. They'll run it right here with Warren. And he'll get about 6 there, setting up second down. Rodgers now. Throwing it out wide, and Metcalf has it. And he'll be taken down. The gain is 6, and it's a new set of downs. He picked up the first down. Rodgers. Metcalf makes the grab again. The Steelers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining here in half number 1.
These are the play calls, Mike, that offensive coordinators use to just get their quarterback and their passing game into some sort of rhythm. Easy pitch and catch, get the ball out of his hand, see a completion. These typically, as the game goes on, lead to bigger and bigger gains.
A gain there of 10 yards. Good for a Steeler first down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and there wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
Pat Fryermuth, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up second down. Rodgers going up top again. That's over the middle, but it's incomplete.
It's pretty remarkable at this stage, Mike, that they're even winning this game. I mean, anytime a quarterback is completing less than 50% of his throws, you just don't see that very often, and it just seems like time and time again, this quarterback and his intended targets, they're just not on the same page.
So after back-to-back incompletions, it is now 3rd and 10. Again, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a 4th down.
Every so often, Mike, you can see these offenses, and it looks like the passing game gets a little bit too predictable. And as the defense continues to flood the back end of these zones with extra defenders, they're continuing to force this quarterback to not only make some difficult throws, but to put the ball in harm's way.
And are they going to mark this out of bounds? They are. It's out at the 1-yard line. What a kick. On the ground, it's Corum to start the drive. And nothing doing there. Might get it out to the 2, but that's all. And now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout, and it'll come with 15 seconds to play in this first half. That is Musgrave, the man in motion. And the D closes quickly. He's stopped after a gain of a yard. Derek Harmon, first-rounder out of Oregon, there for the stop. So we are at halftime, and Greg and I will be back right after this. It's the National Football League on EA Sports. The rain not letting up. It continues to be a factor here as we get back underway in the second half. Melton now to return. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Jacobs. He'll manage only a couple. Patrick Queen, the linebacker. They're on the tackle. From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 8. In motion, it's Golden. On play action, Love. Reaching for it, the tight end couldn't bring it in. It's incomplete. Tucker Kraft was the intended receiver there. And it's going to be 3rd down. Here's Love. That's right side and brought in by Williams. And he's very close to a 1st down, but it doesn't look like he got there. And yes, they're going to mark him a yard short. And how about that? Nice return there, picking his way up past the 35-yard line. Play action now with Rodgers. That's caught right side. It's Freiermuth. And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line. A gain of 14. Good for a quick 1st down. On the ground, this is Warren. And they're going to bring him down, but there is a penalty marker on the field. Broderick Jones, the former 1st-round pick, guilty that time. From the gun, Rodgers. That's thrown right side, but incomplete.
And that's another brutal drop for an offense that has struggled to catch the ball up to this point. And yes, you can nitpick about ball placement and whatnot, but listen, the reality is at this level, if it hits your hands, you have to find a way to come down with it.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. A run out of the gun with Warren. And he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Now it looks like we have an injured Packer player on the field. Athletic training staff looking at him, so we'll step aside. Third and long. Throwing, Rodgers. Here's a screen set up for Warren. Whoa! And he'll be out of bounds, well short of the line to gain, and that'll set up 4th down.
This is a great example here, Mike, of just the value and the importance teams place on 1st and 2nd down. Teams call them early downs, where it's not just live and die by 3rd down anymore. Those days are kind of over. You have to stay ahead of the change. You have to stay efficient on 1st and 2nd down. If not, you end up in 3rd and a mile, and even after that nice pickup, still brings up 4th down.
This one, incomplete. The defense up to the challenge there. They force the incompletion, and they'll take the ball over on downs.
You know, more often than not in the NFL, Games are won based on who wins critical downs. Well, that fourth down attempt right there was exactly that, and this defense came up huge for a big-time fourth down stop.
On 1st and 10, here's Love. Here's a screen taken in by Jacobs. And he's close to a first down. It's a gain of 9. Nice pitch and catch on first down.
And it's been this elite pass defense that's made things very challenging for the offense so far, and that's only his first catch of the game. But, sometimes, Mike, it's just that one play that gets you going, so we'll see if that's the case here.
And he'll have enough to move the chains. He'll take this forward for about 3 yards.
It's possible they could have tried to be a little bit more aggressive on second down, knowing they had 3rd and inches in their back pocket. But I don't think anyone's going to complain. Pick up the first down, extend the drive, see if you can go score.
He'll get that into the hands of Williams. And he is out of bounds. Mark him at the 25. Catch number 7 so far in this one. And a first down.
Mike, these crossing routes, you just see them being used more and more often. And really, it's because it's good against any defense. And what it does is it creates separation. It allows some of your best players to catch the ball on the move. And that short throw oftentimes turns into a long run.
From the 24 now, here's 2nd down and 9. In motion, it's Golden. On 2nd down, Love. That's into the hands of Corum. And it's going to be 1st and goal coming up. Tackle made at the 5-yard line.
And what really stands out about this drive is the ability of the quarterback to really spread the ball around to multiple targets. It puts so much pressure on the defense deciding who do they want to account for, because no matter who they try to take away, the quarterback's doing a nice job of finding the open man.
5 yards from the house. They've got it 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Love. And that's going to be incomplete, but a flag down in the backfield. That's the area we usually see holding. That's on the former 2nd-round pick, Elton Jenkins. Now it is 1st and goal. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Quick slant into the hands of Golden. And the tackle is made at about the 6.
How fast things can flip. You find yourself in 1st and a mile after taking a penalty on 1st down. But that chunk play there in the passing game now gets them back in sequence with the chains and brings up a more manageable 2nd down.
They need 6 for the touchdown. 2nd and goal. Love to throw. On the run to the right. He's going to tuck it and go.
Coming into the game, this is something defensively you have to be aware of. If this quarterback gets a chance and he sees some daylight, he's going to try to take it in on his own. But not in this case. They were quick to react, stop him short. Now brings up 3rd and goal.
The ball inches from the goal line. 3rd and goal. Love. This is going to be caught for a touchdown. But there is a marker down, and you can tell they know this is coming back. Play 7 of the drive coming up, and it's 3rd and goal. Now Love. This one just too far for the receiver, out in front of him. That one falls incomplete. Out comes Riley Patterson to try the field goal. This about as short as you can get. Oh, he missed it from short range. A bad miss. It's no good. And they are not able to draw closer.
And this is where playing in the elements can really become a problem. These kickers practice all year in pretty much ideal conditions. So sometimes you got to approach these kicks a little bit different. He's just unable to connect.
Here's the former Memphis Tiger, Kenneth Gainwell. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
Back to the drawing board for this run game, Mike. The offensive coordinator and his staff, they have to do a better job giving plays, giving opportunities to their offense to find success on the ground. Because right now, they have no answers for this defense.
We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. Here's Gainwell. And a nice run there. He'll get 9 yards. Mark him at the 29.
So I think as they continue to have success on the ground like they did here, I think we're going to see them continue to lean towards that ground game, force the defense to come up, sell out, take it away, and then there's all sorts of options downfield in the passing game.
They'll try to run for it with Johnson. And he's going to be taken down on the other side of the 50-yard line. It's a gain of 28 as they convert on 3rd down.
3rd down and short. You decide to hand the ball off. What you're really telling yourself is just pick up enough yards to reset these downs. But in this case, the back had a whole lot more in mind. He saw the crease and he hit it, and it led to a big gain.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. They'll run here with Gainwell. There he goes, inside the 30. And he will get into the end zone. Kenneth Gainwell. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Big play out of the running game as the back accelerates all the way to the house for the rushing touchdown.
And Mike, when we talk about burst, that's what we're talking about. And they told us all week, be ready for this guy. He's got something special to him, and that long touchdown there is exactly what they're talking about.
Melton now to return. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. They'll start this on the ground with Corum. And that's the way you want to run it on first down. A gain of 7.
At this point, we're going to need 2 hands to count for how many yards he's averaged in this one, Mike. But unfortunately, it just hasn't been enough to overcome the deficit here at this stage of the game.
And they bring him down, but not until he crosses midfield. His 8th reception of the game, and good for a first down.
Anytime you're facing a zone defense, you're working from your first progression all the way through. But when guys are open in this level, Mike, they don't stay open very long. So what they taught us as receivers, if you're open, stay open. And if you're not open, you better get open quick because that ball is coming out.
He'll get that complete to Dontavian Wicks. And he'll be taken down, but they are in business inside the 30-yard line. They get 22 yards there. Good for a Green Bay first down.
This is a really nice job of just finding a hole in coverage, Mike. And I used to say, hey, when you're open, stay open. That's the art of route running versus zone coverage. And it's a friendly target for the quarterback in space, and they're able to convert.
So, 3 quarters now in the books. And Sunday Night Primetime continues after this. So they come to the line for first down and 10. Now Love. This one not quite on target. Let him too much, and that one falls incomplete.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets of downs. And typically, throwing the ball on first down is a great way to do it. But now they find themselves in 2nd and 10. Do you keep it in the air and try to get the first down here? Or is the idea to just make 3rd down manageable and take your chances picking up a key 3rd down?
A throw there on 2nd down, going to be incomplete.
He just stays on his primary read just a little bit too long. I think if he gets that ball to his check down a little bit quicker, not only is the ball completed, but I think there's some room to run. So, again, certain quarterbacks are better than others. The ability to process and eliminate targets quickly to move on to the next, that's a skill that really just comes from experience.
Moving outside the pocket. That is incomplete, but there is a flag down. Big call here. It was 3rd down. Out comes Riley Patterson to try the field goal. It'll be a 44-yard attempt. He makes up for the earlier miss. This time, the kick is good. And the Packers are able to put up 3 and cut into the lead. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. He fields it at the 8. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. A run with Gainwell. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
At this stage in the 4th quarter, great job by the defense, understanding exactly what the offense is trying to do. They're trying to bleed the clock, shorten the game. They completely sold out to stop the run, able to take them down for a loss.
Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. On the ground, Gainwell. And this is going to work out a little better. He'll get 9 on that one, but they're going to need to convert on third down.
So when you're evaluating the impact of a team's run game, Mike, I think it's important at the end of the game to look back and say, okay, how many yards did they run for? But more importantly, when did those yards come? Did I run for those yards in the fourth quarter, which typically means I had to lead? That's the sign of a successful run game, as opposed to getting a lot of meaningless yards early in the game.
14 on the pickup. That's a Steeler first down.
And this running game has really been rolling, Mike, all game long. The holes, the run lanes, they've been there consistently. Here's another nice run as they look to put this game away.
Now Gainwell. Finding space inside the 40. And he'll be hauled down at about the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 16. This offense is humming. A first down. On the give, it's Johnson. And they're going to bring him down, but there is a penalty marker on the field. To throw, it's Rodgers. Oh, trying to set up the screen, but that is going to fall incomplete. Now it looks like we have an injured Packer player on the field. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. On the handoff, this is Warren. He's able to get away from one man, but the reinforcements were there fast. He's taken down for a loss on the play.
You know, at this point, the defense has to sell out and stop the run. You know exactly what the offense is trying to get accomplished by keeping the ball on the ground. But now the question remains, are they willing to take some risk here and put the ball in the air on third down, or do they play it safe and keep running the clock by keeping the ball on the ground?
This a must stop for this defense, facing third and long. To throw is Rodgers. They'll look to set up the screen here. Searching for some kind of seam to go forward. It's not there. They get him behind the line. Fourth down coming up. To return, it's Nixon. And he'll be brought down. Short return. And they'll take over there. On first down, it's Love. And that one is incomplete. Penalty flag down, back in the backfield, in the area of holding. Throwing is Love. Looking downfield, that's Musgrave, the tight end. And he'll be taken down up past the 40-yard line. 22 yards, the pickup there. First down, Packers. Back to throw is Love. A throw behind his man, can't reel it back in, and that'll go down as an incompletion.
He decides to go with the safe throw and throws it well short of the sticks. And at this level, Mike, you just can't miss layups like that.
Throwing on second down, Love. He's hit as he threw. It goes to the ground, and it's an incomplete pass.
I think he knew in the back of his head, Mike, he had to get rid of this ball a little sooner than he would have liked. And with that pressure getting there in a hurry, it just ends up being a wasted down.
That one on target to Williams. He's got it. And he will have a first down, but I don't think that's going to stand. They're already heading backwards. The task now, a really tough one. Third and very long. Here's Love to throw. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by Juan Thornhill. Yeah, and he'll be taken down, and there is a flag on the play. This is going to be a huge call. Now a give up the middle. He's to the 10. And he's in! Kenneth Gainwell. Touchdown Steelers. That his second touchdown tonight. On for the extra point is Boswell. His kick is good. And the Steelers will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter. Boswell now, following the touchdown, back out to kick this one off. He's going to elect not to bring this one out. Probably a wise decision, as this ball comes out to the 35. Love to throw on 1st and 10. That's to the left side and taken in by Golden. And he's out of bounds on the pass play, but that's good for 8 yards.
Similar to a tight end, the slot receiver is often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and a yard. Running forward is Corum. Whoa! And they get him to the ground, but he's all the way down to the 35-yard line. A gain there of 21. Good for a Green Bay first down.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick, and he hit it. And next thing you know, he was in the secondary for a big pickup.
This time they're ready for him. Room to run the last snap, not this one. They stop him for no gain.
Some defensive ends specialize in getting after the quarterback. Some defensive ends specialize in run game. This guy can really make an impact on both, as we saw here for that tackle for loss.
That's caught by Golden, right side. That one good for 18 yards and to the 18-yard line.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late. This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball. So this is where it gets really challenging as an offense. You find yourself trailing late in the game. The defense can play you one-dimensional. They know it's a pass-first situation, so extra defensive backs, the zones and the coverage are a little bit tighter and cloudier, and he's having a hard time finding any open windows downfield. I just don't like the look of this passing game, Mike. It just seems a bit erratic. On top of the 2 straight incompletions, they've already turned the ball over through the air, and truthfully, with how dangerous some of these throws have been, they're lucky it hasn't been even more.
The offense staying out there for this 4th down. They'll go for it. Love. That's going to be incomplete. They felt compelled to go for it on 4th and long. That was a big ask, and the defense turns them away.
You find yourself down big. It's the fourth quarter. There's really no choice but to go for this at this point. But once again, this defense, they're up to the task, and they come through yet again with a huge stop.
So the drive begins with a give to Johnson. Past midfield. Inside the 30. And they won't catch him. He'll go all the way. 82 yards. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And that touchdown probably, Greg, ends any small hopes of a comeback on the other side.
Yeah, and I think those chances, Mike, were small to begin with, but with that last score, I think this one is pretty much over.
Boswell now, following the touchdown, back out to kick this one off. This taken in at the 8-yard line. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line. It's the tight end Kraft in motion. That's a nice job keeping his balance in these conditions. A gain of about 5. Now it looks like we have an injured Packer player on the field. That not a welcome development here late in a one-sided game. So from the 37, here's 2nd down and 5. He'll get this one out to Jacobs. And he is knocked down hard. Wow, they stopped him in his tracks, but he does have enough to pick up the 1st down.
We're starting. See this so often, Mike. The days of just having a running back who you're just going to turn around and hand it to, yes, that's still a critical part of NFL offensive football, but their ability to be used in the passing game, just one more thing for the defense to have to defend, make them go sideline to sideline, line of scrimmage to the end zone, defend every blade of grass, and a really good running back goes a long way in doing that.
On 1st and 10, it's Corum. And he ran right through one tackle, fighting forward. Good gain on the ground of about 7.
This just shows why you can't count on just one guy to take him down. He's a powerful enough runner. You got to have guys coming in support when that first hit is made. It takes a team effort to stop him, especially once he gets going. And after that short run, puts them a little bit closer to the 1st down marker, and they're going to need to create more running room on the ground if they plan on extending this drive.
They'll try to run it here with Jacobs. Oh, he didn't need much, but I don't think he got there. Gonna depend on the spot, but it looks like he is short.
And what a play by the interior of this defensive line. There was nowhere to run. He's able to get in the backfield for a big stop, and it sets up 4th down.
And he's going to have a Packers first down as they find a way to keep the chains moving on 4th down.
Just a great effort by the back. I mean, just the ability to keep your legs moving, to make sure he had enough to pick up the first down. He's able to move the chain by a few, and just a great call, great execution, especially given the circumstances.
So this one in the win column for the Steelers. It was a game played in a driving rainstorm, but they would not let the field or the conditions deter them in any way. They're going to come away from here with a well-earned victory. And that'll do it for my partner, Greg Olson. For our entire team, I'm Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers, winners, as we say so long, from the confluence of the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh.